Duskmourn is out and having an impact on card prices, but there is a lot more than just the new set making cards spike. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Magic the Gathering Foundations or find a vast number of other great products on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or the comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Well, the market is a little more volatile this week, so we are looking at the top 15 hottest cards instead of the normal 10. Like I said in the cold open, Duskmourn is driving some price spikes, but there are other factors at play in the market as well. For example, speculation as to how Wizards is going to handle Commander in the future has led to some spikes. We'll get to all that in a moment, but as always, our hot list is based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage increase in the value of the cards, but we also want to see a true increase in the number of sales from week to week as well. Before we get started though, just a few things. You might notice that this video is dropping on Saturday and not Tuesday. Yes, the Market Watch is back on the weekends. Going forward, the videos are going to drop on Saturdays and Sundays. The reason for that was there was a lot happening on Sundays and Mondays that impacted card prices. Sundays tournaments would wrap up, like the Pro Tour. Monday would be the big announcement day always, and sometimes there'd be new products showcased on Monday as well. So I think this will be better for getting you accurate information, and I do think a lot of people did like the videos when they were on the weekends anyway, so hopefully it's a win-win there. Also, I do want to say thank you to 3 viewers who gave super thanks tips last week: Paul Dodd, Todd Branch, and Jay, it's me, Matt. Thank you to all 3 of you for your support. Those super thanks tips really do go a very long way. And I also want to say thank you to one of our silver patrons as well. That is Cade Browning. Cade's been a silver patron for quite some time. Thank you for the support, Cade. Could not do this without viewers like yourself. I sincerely and truly appreciate it. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 15 is Necron Deathmark. It's up $201 to $6. That's a 50% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Necron Dynasties Commander deck, and up until recently, the 2 Commander builds where you would see this card the most were around other cards from its pre-con: Imhotep the Stormlord and Zarek the Silent King. But now Duskmourn is pushing Necron Deathmark's price. Commander players are putting this in builds around a card found in the new Death Toll Commander deck, and that card is Renmaw Creaking Nest. Necron Deathmark adds value to these builds since it is both an artifact and a creature. Number 14, Barbed Wire, up $215 to $499. That's a 76% increase. This one-print wonder traditionally has not seen that much play, but occasionally it would show up in a Commander build. But times have changed. Duskmourn has made this card hot too. Many players want Barbed Wire to upgrade the new Endless Punishment Commander deck, while others want to include it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there: Vel'Gavoth, Harrower of Souls. Barbed Wire is a consistent way to trigger Vel'Gavoth's ability. Number 13, Jeweled Amulet, up $261 to $561. That's an 87% increase. Here's an even older one-print wonder that can be hard to find in high grade at this point. Simply, it wouldn't take that much interest to spike the card, and there were a few different reasons some players wanted to pick it up recently. First, there are some putting it in Commander builds around the Bloomburrow Buy-A-Box promo Commander card Flubs the Fool. Being a 0 casting cost artifact, Jeweled Amulet can be decent there. Secondly, the card was part of the MTGO Vintage Cube, and performed very well in some of Luis Scott Vargas's videos and streams, which that alone brought some attention to it. And finally, less than 2 weeks ago, Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus were banned in Commander, leading to speculation on possible replacement cards. Some thought of this 0-cost Mana Rock, but obviously it's not on the same power level as the banned cards. At the end of the day, the combined interest on this hard-to-find card led to the price jump you see here. Coming in at number 12 is Sway of the Stars, up $295 to $4. That's a 281% increase. So here's another one-print wonder that doesn't see much play to speak of. It is banned in Commander after all, and that is exactly why there's interest here. On Monday, Wizards of the Coast announced that they would be taking over the Commander format, and they discussed their general plans on how they are going to tackle many of the issues that have plagued the format recently. They talked about plans to assign power levels to Commander decks so that players can all decide which power tier they want to play prior to a game. With these changes, the banned list may change as well. It is very possible that some of the cards that are currently banned may become unbanned, but only allowed in the higher power tier level decks. So as always, speculation and FOMO begins. This is the first of several cards that you're going to see on the hot list jumping due to the possibility that they may be impacted by the future Commander format changes. Interestingly enough, there's a group based out of France that has had their own ban list for 1v1 aka dual Commander games for a very long time, and there are a significant amount of players that follow those guidelines. The format has differences in general rules, like players start at 20 life, there is no commander damage, and games are best 2 out of 3. But the reason I'm pointing this out is because Sway of the Stars is not banned there, which means that there is a precedent for this card being played in high power level decks. Will this be unbanned in Commander proper? Who knows. But right now, it's a hot spec target. Number 11 is Hull Breacher from Commander Legends. This is up $3.12 to $5 for a 166% increase. It is worth noting that this has just been reprinted as part of Mystery Booster 2 in the Future Sight card frame, but that new set is not a widely released product, and we see the original version jumping regardless. First off, this sees playing both Legacy and Vintage. In Legacy, it's in Hull Day Echo Stompy, and in Vintage, it's found in Jeweled Shops, Underworld Breach, Merfolk, and blue-based control decks. The real reason Hull Breacher is jumping, though, ties into Commander. This is another card that is currently banned in the format, and some think it may become unbanned for higher tier decks in the future. It's also currently not banned in the French 1v1 dual Commander format. Yep, speculation and FOMO are at work here too. Alright, before we get to our top 10, just a quick reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can pre-order MTG Foundations there, or pick up any number of other great products on their website. They have a lot of MTG, but other things too. Remember, if your order's over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States, and if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's look at the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Yawgmoth's Bargain from Urza's Destiny. It goes up $3.75 to $13.74. That's a 38% increase. Third verse, same as the first. This card too is banned in Commander, but not banned in the French 1v1 dual Commander format. Plus, Yawgmoth's Bargain is on the reserve list, and this Urza's Destiny copy is the only tournament legal version of the card. It doesn't take too much in order to make a card like this jump. In this case, many are speculating that at some point we may see it allowed in higher power tier Commander decks. Currently, it doesn't see much play at all, but who knows what the future holds. Number 9 is Charismatic Conqueror, up $3.97 to $24.19. That's a 20% increase. This is from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Blood Wright's Commander deck. It shows up a lot in Commander. The highest played build running it is Edgar Markov, but recently it's gotten a boost thanks to Bloomburrow and Duskmourn. When Bloomburrow came out, you started seeing this in Commander builds around Balin the Haymaker from the main set, and Arthur Marigold Knight from Family Matters, the Commander deck, not the TV show. Now though, Duskmourn is really the key driver for Charismatic Conqueror's price spike. You find it in builds around Arabella, Abandoned Doll from there. Charismatic Conqueror makes sense in those builds because the decks want to go wide with small creatures. Coming in at number 8 is Sunscour, up $4.70 to $6.33. It's a 288% increase. This one print wonder was seeing a little Commander play. Sometimes it would be an Avacyn Angel of Hope builds, for example, but this time the key driver for the price spike is the modern format. There's a new Bant Ritual build that's performing well in the format. Typically they run 3 copies of Sunscour in the sideboard. The deck revolves around Birthing Ritual and tries to chain several creatures with strong enters the battlefield effects. We'll have to see how the meta reacts to this build in the coming weeks and months, but right now the deck is hot, and since Sunscour is harder to find, copies of it dried up quickly online. Number 7 is Starfield of Nyx. The Magic Origins copy is up $4.97 to $19.97. That's a 33% increase. The Commander Masters copy goes up $6.35 to $19.29. That is a 49% increase. This has been in modern Enchantress decks, plus it's been a solid card in any enchantment-centric Commander build, like Anixia Hand of Erebos, for example. Now, however, this is seeing much more Commander play thanks to Duskmourn, hence the spike. The set brought us a good amount of enchantment support, but one of the Commander decks is doing the heavy lifting here. Starfield of Nyx is a good upgrade to the Miracle Worker deck, and it's appearing in fresh builds around a couple cards from there. The front-facing Commander, Aminatou Veil Piercer, and the Master of Keys. I'm also seeing Starfield of Nyx in builds around 2 cards from the main set, Marina Vendrell, and to a lesser degree, Victor Velgavoth Seneschal. Coming in at number 6 is Omnixilis Captive Kingpin. This goes up 647 to 2142. That's a 43% increase. This card from the ill-fated March of the Machine, the Aftermath set, was number 3 on the hot list last week. It has been a fairly popular commander, and it even got a bump in play recently since it's sometimes part of the 99 of the Gev Scaled Scorch builds. Gev, of course, is a Bloomburrow card, but as you know, there is a good amount of demon support in Duskmourn, and Omnixilis Captive Kingpin is a great upgrade to the Endless Punishment commander deck. Plus, I'm seeing a lot of people putting it in fresh builds around Valgavoth Harrower of Souls from there. That extra attention, combined with the fact that Omnixilis came from an unpopular set, has led to another spike. Number 5 for the second week in a row is Chandra Awakened Inferno. The core set 2020 copy goes up 769 to 1989. That is a 63% increase. The Commander Masters copy up $805 to $16 for a 101% increase. This is found in Pioneer, Naya midrange, Jeskai Indomitable Creativity, and sometimes Boros midrange, but the real story here is Commander. Chandra Awakened Inferno was getting Commander play in a few different builds, but this is another card that is getting pushed now by Duskmourn. Many Commander players wanted to upgrade the Endless Punishment deck. Others are adding this Chandra to fresh builds around a couple cards from there. They are Valgavoth Harrower of Souls and the Lord of Pain. Chandra Awakened Inferno's emblem is a great way to activate Valgavoth. Number 4 is Zur Eternal Schemer, up 973 to 1775. That's a 121% increase. Like I mentioned earlier, Duskmourn brought a lot of support to enchantments, and that is why this card is spiking now. It is a fairly popular commander, and those builds are seeing more play with the new enchantment support, but this is also a very good upgrade to the Miracle Worker commander deck, and I'm seeing players putting it in fresh builds around Aminatu Veil Piercer and the Master of Keys from there. Plus, Zur Eternal Schemer is appearing in commander builds around Marina Vendrell from the main set as well. Number 3, Rafellos Llanowar Emissary, up 1598 to 5199. That's a 44% increase. This reserve list card doesn't see much play to speak of, but it is jumping, and you can probably guess why. It's another card that is banned in Commander, and like some of the cards we saw earlier, it is legal in the French 1v1 dual commander format, so some are speculating that Wizards may eventually unban Rafellos for higher power tier commander decks. Again, FOMO and speculation are driving the price, but ultimately we'll have to see what happens. Number 2 is Abhorrent Oculus, up 2242 to 3391. That's a 195% increase if you're doing the math at home. There are a lot of Duskmourn cards dropping this week as packs get cracked and cards get into players' hands. But this one was undervalued leading up to the release week, and it is taking off now. It is one of the breakout cards from the new set, and it's showing up in multiple formats. First, it's getting some commander play as an upgrade to the Duskmourn Jump Scare commander deck with an exclamation point. Others are putting it in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from there, Zimone Mystery Unraveler. I'm also seeing Abhorrent Oculus and Kadena Slinking Sorcerer decks, among others. In Pioneer, it's starting to see some play too. You can find it in Esper midrange, for example, but this card really has made a splash in Standard and Modern. In Standard, it's part of a very successful self-mill Azorius Tempo deck, and in Modern, it's in a Dimir Murktide build that is putting up some great results. We'll have to see how these decks perform in the coming weeks as the meta adjusts to them, but for right now, Abhorrent Oculus is hot. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Tolarian Academy, up $46.11 to $150. That's a 44% increase. This reserve list card is restricted in Vintage, but it sees a lot of play there. It's in Jewel Shops, Underworld Breach, Prison Shops, Aggro Shops, Esper Tinker, and Paradoxical Outcome. But in a shocking turn of events, this is spiking due to speculation and FOMO because it too is banned in Commander. Now this card is also banned in the French 1v1 dual commander format, but nevertheless, some are specking that Wizards may unban this for higher power tier commander decks in the future. I don't know if that will happen, but I will say if it ever did, this card would spike into the stratosphere. So perhaps some are looking at this as a high risk, high reward spec. Alright, with that being said, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch, but this is only part of the story. We're going to talk about cards going down in price tomorrow, so join us again for a new episode. But until then, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.